Dog misbehaving? Garrison, you still hear me?
Hello?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right.
Well, looks like Sis might have some problems. Let me see if I can see if something's going on with her.
So what's a 411?
Do what now?
What's a 411 on this Valentine's Day event?
Well, I got a few different things we're going to do tonight. One thing we're going to talk about Johnny Bravo, your memories of it, what your what you like about it. I just finished my own rewatch of it, and I just wanted to share my thoughts. And it is his birthday after all, so I thought we'd throw him a little party. Have a little fun.
Yeah. My gosh. I gotta give him credit. He does not know when to give up.
Yeah, it's a bit of a double-edged sword, isn't it?
Yeah. The only thing I can say that there was
Garrison, you still with me?
one was unfortunately was a deer, so we're gonna cross that one out. The other one was technically a werewolf.
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Sorry, you cut out for a little bit, Garrison.
All right.
I do want to ask you, Garrison, if you watched Johnny Bravo back in the day, did you ever catch his live show that he did whenever he would host a TV show and people would call in and request cartoons to watch?
I do not remember that.
Okay, well it's see the picture I got on screen there. It's what it was called was JBVO. And it's where it was like he was in his studio and he had his little phone next to him and he'd answer and it'd be like he'd get letters from like kids that would send it to the studio and he'd read it on air and then he'd call them and they'd have be on air and talk to him for a minute and he would introduce their like cartoon short that they wanted to see. So it's something really neat for like early television like that.
Yes, the golden years. God, that was a good time. I think there was also a few. I do remember a few episodes that I don't know how well he would go. Some of his antics would go in this time frame, but my gosh, he was funny as heck. He was also well.
Yeah, that is another thing I wanted to talk about, just briefly at least, is how things have aged with the comedy of that show. Here's the thing. I don't think it's ever like too much to where it couldn't be played for a modern audience, but there's some things where like some things you shouldn't say to women, and like yeah, but that's kind of the point of the show. Like it's not an endorsement all of his behavior. It's showing you, hey, don't do this.
Compared to Pepe Le Pew, I think some of his antics were tamed. At least he knows when to take the answer no.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. That's another thing. Is I'm glad you brought that up with the whole when they did that second Space Jam a few years ago, and they cut out Pepe Le Pew because apparently he was problematic
Which was
in a modern
in a
modern lens and everything. But like, yeah, but like that's the point of the character, and you can tone it down a little bit for a modern audience. It doesn't have to be as much as it used to be.
Yeah, people are just different this time frame.
Okay, well, I'll keep an eye on, see if anybody else is going to come in, but I'm just going to keep on rolling.
Hello? Hello?
Hey, you still there?
Yeah.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Still trying to get my sister in here with us, but yeah, it's not working right now. But I think she's gonna try a little bit later, maybe. No, Garrison, I don't know if I can do this or not. I've tried to do this whenever I was just monkeying around with this thing, but they have this thing where you can screen share like this with another tab that you got open. I'm gonna see if I can pull something up on YouTube that I was gonna show you something from that old show that he did that was really interesting.
Yeah, that's right.
But I don't know, one, if I can get it to come up, and two, if the video and audio might not be synced. You'll just have to let me know if it looks and sounds okay on your side.
All right.
Does that work for you?
Try it.
Okay. Share. Okay, Garrison, if you can hear me, what do you see? Just so I know what you're looking at.
I'm seeing the circle. All right. I also see something that looks like it goes to YouTube.
Okay. Yeah, it's going. Yeah, I'm on YouTube.
Should I click it?
See my mouse and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, you see the clip I've got. Okay.
Yes.
I'm just gonna try this and tell me if you can hear it and if it's in sync.
All right. Are you playing it?
Hello?
Hello, Jennifer?
Mm-hmm.
I hear it.
It's your
It's going on and on.
pen pal, Johnny Bravo. Hey, how you doing?
Fine.
All right.
Going on.
Now, Jennifer, I got your letter, okay?
Okay.
And I know that you love Dragon Ball Z. Now, I don't...
Is going on and off.
Back on Earth, those Namex dudes are recuperating. There's that guru guy. Oh, yeah. Looks like...
Oh, my gosh.
Okay. Wow. They're bumming, huh? Wow, okay. There's that floating half-body guy. Goku flying or doing something over there.
I see
Frieza
it.
hurls some kind of fireball at him. Oh, man, this is All right. Okay. There you go. Kind of loses something fast forward, doesn't it, Jennifer?
Mhm.
Well, I'm sorry, little lady. I love that show, and I love you, so I wanted to play it for you because this is your all-request cartoon show. Thank you, pretty mama.
Okay.
Take care now, Jennifer.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Wow, that aged weirdly.
Okay, did I lose anybody?
I'm still here.
What? Yeah, you're still here. Okay, cool. So what'd you think of that? That little clip I showed you.
I honestly do not remember half of that, but dang. Wow, that was actually slightly entertaining.
Yeah, it's kind of a crazy thing to think about it, but Johnny Bravo was the first abridger. That predates Little Karibo. That predates Dragon Ball Z abridged. That happened in like the year 2000. So that was like the first time that was something like that was ever broadcast. And it was broadcast on live TV too.
Oh. That actually, wow, now that you think about it, that does make sense. It was a bridge. That was like when the time when cartoons, they basically do those funny trivia moments. Like they were doing it for fun.
Yep.
On that note, do you think it's a little weird that when you think about it, that he's one of his few friends? There was Carl, his friend, but also it was weird that he was friends with a kid.
No, I mean, Little Susie was his neighbor, so I mean, that made sense to me. It was also it was mainly just for comedy because she was way smarter than him, and she was like 8, and he's like 20 something.
Early 20s, at least. Oh, so get this. Apparently,
I just watched the.
Apparently, there was a time that.
Go ahead, Garrison.
Yeah, apparently during that time there was it. Let's see. Johnny Bravo was also in the UK, Germany, and Poland. I was like, huh. Never thought I'd hear about.
Like it aired there, you mean?
No, Poland. Poland and Germany. So the idea of him talking in German or Polish is a little. No one would expect that to happen.
Yeah, something funny happened to me earlier watching it. There was an episode that was randomly in Spanish, and I didn't know how to turn it back to English, so I kind of just let it play. I still got the basic gist of what happened, but Spanish Johnny Bravo was pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie.
You know, I think about one of the things about that we never understood is like who his dad was.
That's something I want to know too. That's a question I've had for a long time. And I don't know if I'll do it here. Maybe I'll make a separate video about it. But I kind of had a pitch for like a modern retelling or reboot of Johnny Bravo, but just as like a movie pitch, like just a one and done. But just I think a way that we could do it that'd be fun, where it's just kind of paying tribute to everything the cartoon did, but also telling its own story too. I don't know if you want to hear that, just let me know. And I'll give you an elevator pitch on it. But I thought I might.
I also find looking back at it, remember he used to be a scrawny kid, but then all that determination and trying to get a girl that he liked, he worked his ass off and became a hunk.
Yeah, that is pretty admirable that he could apply himself like that and just I mean, it didn't exactly work out, but at least he did better himself. So it's admirable on that level anyway.
Can we also point out the fact that when it comes to jerky, he is intelligent enough to know, like, just by eating it, he knows the taste, the history, and what is put into making it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, when it comes to like jerky and hair gel and like 5 or 6 things he knows everything about, but he just does but like those specific things, not really anything that useful. He always knows like how Pops makes his chili and all his food, but he doesn't really like. Honestly, it's kind of weird that he doesn't have a job where he's involving food. I think he'd probably be good at it.
Or heck, if he was intelligent enough, he could do something akin to working out, or because do people still do like that? Those muscle competitions.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he could easily be a model or something while he's doing that and pursue other things on the side. So it's just funny when you think about it, like he's a fitness nut, but he also eats like some of the worst things imaginable for you health wise. So he might not be able to maintain to be like a fitness model or a weightlifter or something professionally. I, I don't know. There's a part where he gets like a medical exam in one episode, and it's literally the nurse says like there's enough toxins in your blood that should have killed you like 20 years ago. But I guess our boy's just built different, right?
Yeah, either that or he's too stupid to die. Before I forget, do you remember that one
That's
hair gel?
also a possibility.
But do you remember that one gel episode where he had a nightmare? He woke up and then it happened again.
Was that the one where he went to the future?
Let's see.
Where he got frozen for like 1,000 years in the hair gel?
No, I don't think so. I remember something about it. This episode ended with him screaming after he tried to get his hair gel because he ran out.
Okay, yeah, that was that's the one where they figure out that at the end that the main ingredient in Pops' chili is the same like hair cement that's in Mr. Kevin's gel that he uses. So like the factory quit or closed, so he couldn't get it into the actual stuff anymore. So he slathered his hair in chili, and it worked. But then, like as he leaves the diner, his hair messes up again. He starts screaming.
Hold on, is it possible to play that?
Let me think. Nope. I was trying to figure out how to search it here. Hold on. Let me share a screen. I'll see if I can find it.
Hand off your.
You still hear me and everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. It looks like it's the second one.
Here's 12. Keep the change.
Okay, I'll see if this will work.
Oh, mama. Oh, double mama. Lots of fine products out there. One of them has to work. That ain't the one. I don't think so. Don't look at me. Big stripe. No hair gel.
Garrison, I'm gonna go ahead and hit play and
Hit it.
see
Yeah.
what happens.
Did it freeze up on you? Hello?
That was the episode, I think, but it's just a tiny clip of it.
But on a different note, here, do you remember that one Cartoon Network short where he was in a laundromat with Samurai Jack?
Yep, I can pull it up in just a second. I was wondering if we'd get to this or not.
I mean, the awkwardness between those two. And then, strange enough, it's only because of that one moment that people outside of the fandom have basically made them be best friends. I also find it funny that the voice actor who plays Johnny Bravo, some of the characters he's also played as, one in particular, do you know Kowalski from the Madagascar Penguins?
Yeah, he's voiced by Johnny Bravo, isn't he?
Yeah. So I imagine, wow, where was all that intelligence?
Okay, I'm just gonna play this clip right now, just while I'm here. I'm back to normal.
The awkwardness. I swear that you could literally feel the awkwardness in this.
Laundry day?
Yeah. Yep.
You seem to like black shirts, quite a lot.
And it looks like you like it in big.
Oh my god.
Whoa. I'm just saying.
Oops. Sorry about that.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yes. And what's also more comical is there was that crossover he did with the Scooby Doo gang when he and Shaggy were being chased
Oh
by one of the
yeah,
monsters.
they're
He told them to pause for a second until he could work on his hair. It's like you're running your life and you're worried about your hair, but then again, priorities, right?
hey, it's his show. He makes the rules. They can say pause for a second.
I suppose.
If he was on if he's on a Scooby Doo episode, he wouldn't be able to do that. But since it's his show that they're on, that's why he's able to do that.
Huh.
And those commercials, like we were just looking at, there's this whole series where it's him and Velma, like on again, off again dating. It's really funny. It's all because of that episode where they were making eyes at each other at one point.
Specifically, I remember how
switched glasses.
Yeah, and it's like, huh, dude, there's nothing wrong with your glasses. It's kind of cool. So what? It's not that bad. And I do remember, didn't Daphne punch him a few times in the face?
I kind of think she just got mad at him. I don't remember her actually hitting him. I know like the chandelier ends up hitting him because he's with the monster and during the trap part. So he gets hit in the head then. Maybe Daphne dropped it on him intentionally.
Knowing her, I would not be surprised. Also, on a different note, can we just point out the fact that he's able to bounce back from how much pain?
I mean, cartoons plus strength training that he does. I'm sure his endurance is pretty good with pain and everything. And that he lives with rejection every single day of his life. That's something, definitely.
I don't know why, but I feel like if he was in the anime world, specifically, hear me out. There was an old show that used to come on called Bobobo. I wonder how well. I think his hair would actually be a good factor.
Mm-hmm.
Like he would be.
I mean, I remember when
he'd be using his hair as a weapon.
When I first got into JoJo, everybody was making the joke at the time that Johnny Bravo was actually a JoJo character, just that escaped the JoJo universe and ended up in a different cartoon, which honestly I think fits him really well.
Let's see. Well, there's the Jovo part.
Yeah, you got the.
Would it be his hair or
posing? And whenever the camera like changes angle, he's change all the muscles and everything. And honestly, when I was watching Stardust Crusaders, every time Paul Naref was on screen, I'm like, that guy's just Johnny Bravo but French. Even similar hairstyle too. Just instead of a pompadour, it's a flat top.
Huh. Wait, that's what Johnny's hairstyle is?
Johnny's is a pompadour. Yeah, it's technically. I mean, it's cartoonishly giant, but it's Yeah, it's technically the same style as Josuke's or Kuwabara's or all these other characters from anime.
Huh. Huh. So that's what Pomodoro looks like.
I mean, a lot of that was like because I mean, that was kind of a '50s thing, and he's going for an Elvis thing, and then the Japanese in the '80s and '90s, I think that's when pompadours got really big for them. So it's
Specifically, if
kind
you're
of
part
a
of this.
maybe cultures kind of feeding into each other over the decades, maybe.
Yeah. And apparently, Johnny was based off of, I think, something akin to Elvis.
Yeah, I haven't ever found it to see it to watch it myself. 'Cause I think it's lost media at this point, but Van Partible served Johnny Bravo in his like student film. It's called Mesa Blues, I think was the title of it, where it's what eventually became Johnny Bravo, but he was an Elvis impersonator. Like he had the black hair and was much more obviously Elvis inspired in it, but that was where Johnny started from. But there's some like screenshots and stuff of it I've seen, but I don't think the whole pilot or film has been recovered yet.
Huh. Interesting. 1, 2, 3. So yeah, I actually came across.
See if maybe.
There's a list of people that he managed to actually win the hearts of. Oh, I remember. Oh, do you remember that one time? Like, how the heck did he accidentally get transferred to an all women's prison? Apparently, they accidentally made a mistake and marked it, but he was in a women's prison for a while. I didn't really think that much about it, but
I watched the series just recently. I'm not just not remembering it right now, but I know he went to prison at least a couple times.
It was all at least 2 times he went to prison, or 3. It was over the ridiculous reason. I know one time he was in prison with the late Adam West.
Yeah, well, I mean, Adam West kind of broke the law by helping Johnny do what he did. So I can't like that's kind of they're kind of both share the blame there.
Oh my gosh, I miss him.
I did want to mention, I don't know if you know this, but there's a lot of creatives that worked on Johnny Bravo in the '90s. 2 of them that helped Van Partible when he was making it were Butch Hartman and Seth MacFarlane, worked heavily on Johnny Bravo.
Huh.
So, like the reason that that Adam West ended up in Family Guy was because Seth MacFarlane wrote the episode that has him in it. And that's how we met Adam West.
I see. I did not know that. Good to hear. So, what would you say was your favorite Johnny Bravo episode? If you have any.
that it's really hard for me to pick because there's a lot of episodes I really like. Okay. Sorry, I was just sister was messaging me, so I was gonna see what's happening. Okay. I mean, I really liked I just watched the Valentine's Day episode today, where he actually ends up on a date with the redhead girl, Amber, I think's her name.
Wasn't she a
No,
spy?
no, Heather. Heather's her name.
Oh.
But it's really funny that she is kind of like a female version of him whenever they meet. If she's coming on to him, and he doesn't like know how to respond at first.
I think I remember that one.
Thought that was really funny. The lady that really she reminds me of Mrs. Bellum from Powerpuff Girls and looks. Just not curly hair, but like the color of the hair and everything.
Yeah.
So that's just really funny that they just matched each other perfectly, and they did kind of a Spider-Man joke, or at least in the comics, with do you know how Spider-Man meets Mary Jane for the first time,
Yep.
where Aunt May like sets them up, but doesn't tell Peter anything about her really.
I remember that.
It's kind of the same setup with Johnny and his mom.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then he ends up as like, oh, this girl is really gorgeous and really cool. So because he was fearing like the worst for his mom setting him up on a blind date, and it actually ends up.
I think for me, my favorite Johnny Bravo episode was the one where, give me a second. It was one where Susie was missing her doll.
Big ones.
Was missing her doll, and he was kind of hired to be a detective and find it.
This is for cookies and stuff.
Specifically,
yeah, it's like a parody of all the old detective movies and stuff.
Yeah. Like that show itself was funny, especially when he was quote unquote interrogating the female that was stealing all the dolls. How he would not slap a woman, so he slapped himself. And as for my wife, she likes the one episode where he turned into a female.
And then she left it.
And now he has got an understanding of what.
I just saw that one today too. I watched that one, yeah.
And now he's like, okay, so and instead of when you turn back, he didn't really learn that much. But at that moment, he realized not only were women smart, but okay, so maybe I need to alter how I treat females. That would have been a good takeaway. Unfortunately, cartoons they usually don't stick when they change.
Yeah. Yeah, status quo comes in and like he never learns anything because of it. I will say one of the you talk about cartoons that you watched as a kid that has having a lot of humor that you don't get until you're an adult and watch it again. Johnny Bravo has one episode where it has Mr. T in it, and he is finally answering a fan letter that the Johnny Bravo sent him when he was a kid, and it's like trying to deal with his childhood bully, but now they're both fully grown. That no kid would have understood.
I think I remember that episode. Is it the one where he was about to give him a wet willy, but he was able to stop Salad by using that one vegetable sweet.
Yep. Yeah, because you know who that celebrity was. But
I remember his face. I just don't remember what he did. He was like a workout coach or something.
yeah, yeah, it was, yeah, Richard Simmons. That's
Didn't he pass away a long
because
time ago?
in the flashback, you just see a kid with curly hair beating him up, and he calls him Little Ricky Simmons. And then when it shows him as an adult and he's grown up, it's Richard Simmons, the fitness guru from the '80s.
I'm trying to remember. Didn't he pass on a while back?
Oh man. I think so. I probably, yeah. I mean, he'd been around forever, so that kind of makes sense if he had at this point.
Let's see what else. I think he was also there. Oh, there was that one Christmas special where he accidentally beat up Santa Claus because he thought he was breaking into his house.
Yeah, Johnny Bravo basically did the Santa Claus movie, but instead of Tim Allen, it was Johnny doing it. Where he has to be Santa Claus for that episode.
And Santa Claus remembered and Larry punched him in the face the next time they met again. But it kind of shows that even though Johnny can be a bit of an idiot at times, he has a good heart, especially when it comes to his mother.
Yeah, and see, that's funny because there are actually 2 Christmas episodes with it, and they actually remember that from the first one. So then at the end of the first Christmas episode is Santa threatening him, says round 2 is next year because he gave him the boxing gloves for Christmas. So then literally the first thing that he does when he sees Johnny again, he just puts on a glove and just punches him as hard as he can in the face.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess you could say he didn't forget that one.
I will say, since we talked about some guest stars, the weirdest thing about Johnny Bravo in retrospect is Donny Osmond. That he's like a recurring character playing himself, just showing up, and everybody is irritating Johnny every time he shows up.
What was his beef with him?
Just because he was like his nanny in the first episode.
Oh, right, I remember the disco groovy guy was like,
and the fact that like no, I don't.
Yeah, I remember him.
But you want to know something funny? I misremembered something about Donny Osmond in this cartoon. There's an early episode, where a musician like becomes Johnny Bravo's like butler for a week.
Yeah.
And he kind of likes Johnny at first, and then Johnny takes advantage of him, and then eventually the guy beats him up as he on his way out. So yeah, I thought that was Donny Osmond. I thought that was the first Donny Osmond episode. It actually ended up with Donny not liking him, but then like forgiving him when he showed up the next time. But no, those are 2 different people, two entirely different people that I was thinking was the same character, just because they're both famous musicians, singers.
Right now, stop! Let me think. What are you saying? Shut the hell up! At that moment, Luca had quietly snuck up to the second floor of the gym, but Nickel.
Let's see. I do remember there was one episode where he was on it was like one of those TV thing. It was on those TV things. I don't remember what it was exactly, but it was almost like those live television talk show hosts. Do you remember that?
Okay, yeah, I think I remember that one, where it's I know I just watched it like a week or so ago. That the woman host he likes, so he's trying to get on her show, and then like he keeps getting beat up by different people that are on the show. I think.
I do remember one time when they were throwing stuff. She was handling it herself, but I was impressed that Johnny was able to block some of those projectiles.
I mean, I think Johnny does juggle a few times in the show, so that makes sense. That he'd be able to like grab stone getting thrown at him and then throwing it up in the air.
Oh, he also does martial arts.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
well,
let's see
go
what.
ahead.
I'm trying to remember. There was one particular show that I thought was funny. Oh, how about the first time that he had a chance to date? He was on a date with the president's daughter.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that one day alone made her go back to dating robots.
Understandable entirely. But I will say that something I respect about Johnny and his dating life is that he kind of just rolls with it whenever something unexpected happens to him. Like that episode, he gets catfished by an antelope.
Yeah, that was the one that
he thinks it's a normal lady, and then
he just rolls with it.
And he's like, he acknowledges this is weird, this isn't normal, but he's like, well, she's still a lady, so I should probably still take her to dinner anyway.
And there was that one
and then,
episode.
Also, around the same. Go ahead.
Are you talking about? There was that one episode where he actually was on a date with a werewolf.
That, and he also was on a date with a vampire in a different episode.
So yeah, so long as it's a female, I'm rolling with it.
Yeah. That's actually, I think that's the punchline in the werewolf episode. Is like during the morning, whenever she wakes up from being a werewolf, she turns into a dude for like 12 hours.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm okay with everything else, but that's a little too much for me. So I'm glad that he doesn't just like leave. Whenever something weird like that happens, he doesn't just flake out on him. Because he just goes with the antelope, he goes with the vampire, he goes with the werewolf. Even there's even a Frankenstein episode where he voluntarily becomes an experiment to hook up with the Bride of Frankenstein.
I just rolled my eyes at that.
And yeah, but that's the thing. They actually get together at the end of that episode. He's an undead monster at that point, but he's married to her and apparently regretting it. Because it's not a fairy tale marriage they have at the end.
Did he expect it to be, or is he basically expecting to be married and then have a nagging wife? But
I don't know, Johnny. Not a whole. His blood doesn't go to his brain most of the time. Most of the time, it goes the other direction. So I don't think he was thinking at all during any of that.
Yeah, that's the sad part. but we still love him. I do
Yeah.
remember in the
And yeah, go ahead, Garrison.
I do remember like one of the old cartoon shows when, if I remember correctly, there was a small jingle about him. Basically, a song and pointing out how much of a cool guy he was.
Was Johnny the one singing it?
No, it was just directed towards him.
Hmm. Kind of sounds like something he would do. Make up a song about how awesome he is.
Yep. Oh, I also remember one of the earlier drafts of the show where he was doing this type of, I think it was called Ubermint. It was some type of medication or muscle thing that he ate too much and he literally became a giant.
Yeah, probably like supplements that he didn't. That one weren't FDA approved. Two, he didn't read the instruction.
Yeah, the first time he became a giant, and when he refused to read it the second time, he became short. The only thing that was quote unquote normal was. Let's see what else. Wasn't there also a Star Trek episode where he took over as Kirk?
Yeah, where the space captain like fades down to the planet, and he happens to phase like right where Johnny is, so it's like they switch places.
I do love how. Let's see. Note to self: exploit leech idea. One second. The orange one.
Like one to, yeah, the orange one. Next thing will be a Parmesan cheese and smaller tub of heavy whipping cream.
Oh, let's see. Wasn't there another episode where he was wearing a? Dang, what did you call it? It's basically a VR set.
Yeah, where it's like a parody of like Flash Gordon, Star Wars, and a bunch of stuff. I did want, speaking of Star Wars, I want to mention Mark Hamill does like 20 different voices in this show, and one of the voices he does is in that episode where he plays not Darth Vader in the virtual reality.
Parmesan cheese in a tub.
Where are you?
It all makes sense now.
Yeah.
It all makes sense now.
Measuring, yes. Because
Still with me, muchacho?
What?
Just making sure you're still with me.
Yeah, I'm still there.
Okay.
Also a colander.
Okay. Garrison, is there anything else you want to say about Johnny Bravo, or do you want to move on to the next thing that we're going to do?
The only thing I could say is that he was one heck of a guy to laugh at, or at least watch. I was happy to see his progress throughout the years. That's all I can say. That's pretty much it.
To wrap up this segment, I just want to say a couple things about Johnny Bravo that I think need to be said about it. I mean, first of all, it's hilarious, so I think that like new generations should check it out if they have a chance to, or so it could give newer generations the chance to watch it instead of just letting it not be streamed anywhere hardly.
Wait, you're saying it's not-
It's on like Amazon, I think. If you buy it, that's like one of the only places you can actually stream it, I think.
Oh my god. Some people have no appreciation for the arts.
Yeah. The other thing is, in the world that we live in now, like people would probably would think that Johnny Bravo wouldn't survive in a post Me Too world. Like if they did bring it, to streaming, or if they did a reboot of some kind with it, like that it wouldn't age well. But
I would just leave it be then. There are some things that need to stay dead and in a good way.
Yeah, but what I think that be like young men, especially nowadays, need to see stuff like Johnny Bravo so they could get their act together. Like just because all the dumbasses out there that are taking advantage of lonely men, young men that trying to in the dating world now. I just think Johnny Bravo, like they should watch Johnny Bravo instead of listening to those guys, because one, they'll probably learn more from him than anything they're saying, and then two, I just think that that's a more wholesome experience for them than anything that's trying marketed to them, trying to get them laid. That's even though Johnny's not exactly the best role model in the world, at least the point of the show is that he's not a great role model. And you should laugh at him. Like if you laugh at your bro and you see the people saying stuff like he did unironically nowadays, like if that's actually what they believe, then I think we should laugh at them too. But that's my piece of it. So do we want to move on to the next segment, Garrison?
Sure we can, before I have to go and eat.
What's on the menu, by the way?
Steak out. I believe it's steak and noodles for my wife.
Oh, sounds good.
So how about you? Have you found someone yet?
Okay, so here's one we can go through. Do I know?
Hello?
What are you saying, Garrison?
I say, have you found someone yet?
Are we talking like dating wise? Or are we talking like for the show?
Dating wise.
The answer is neither. So I'm trying, but it's just I haven't gotten anywhere yet with anybody.
Well, don't worry. There's bound to find someone.
Yeah. But so let's move on to the second idea that I had. Valentine's specials of like cartoons or old TV shows that we watched when you're growing up or that you might go back to now. What do you? What's one that you like a lot or can remember fondly?
Let's see. One I remember fondly. That's gonna be a tough one because only two specific cartoon episodes come to mind. The one is the Hinky Pinky from Ed and Eddie,
Mm-hmm.
and then that one SpongeBob Valentine's one, which I have to say, I was extremely annoyed with Patrick in that one because he threw quite a megalomania temper tantrum because he didn't get one. Well, he was, but it was coming in late because of jellyfish. And I was just like, I so much wanted to yell at Patrick at that because, dude, you're throwing a temper tantrum because you haven't gotten a Valentine's Day. Grow the F up.
Definitely, yeah.
Like,
I
I would
will
even
say
have.
that the whole sequence with the tantrum is pretty funny though. Just him going like King Kong on the carnival.
Heck, I would have yelled. I probably would have gotten the life beaten out of me, but said, even if it means getting my life beaten out, do what you want and never talk to me again. Because at this point, it's better. You do not deserve a Valentine's Day gift. Now, going on to the other one, the Hinky Pinky episode, I just found it a little. I'm going to assume Ed is that dumb because, he and most of the kids have a crush on Naz, right?
Yeah.
And he intentionally avoids the kinkers. I was like, and when he was having that freak out part where he was avoiding Lee, Ed, you do know that you don't like the whole mushy mushy girl stuff. You do know Naz is a girl, right?
What?
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of dumb, so he might not put two and two together there.
I honestly think that he may be slightly slow.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Then again, if he literally slaps his head on the ground thinking he's a woodpecker.
There's something weird about that episode. Like when it came out, the this was before the school season actually happened on that show, and we know that Sarah and Jimmy were younger than everybody else, but they didn't reveal until that season that they went to the same building and everything, just a different grade. In that Valentine special, they're the two cherubs, like the two cupids in it are them. When then the real them don't actually appear in the episode.
Huh.
So I thought that's really weird to look at. I look back on it because it's like they would be in school right now because they are in season 5, but like I don't think they'd ironed out all the details yet at that point to how to include them in the school season.
Hmm.
That's just an idea I've had for a while that I think kind of makes sense. That it would have about like just a way to include them, not exclude them from everything, but just have them play a pivotal role in it, but just not as the students selves in it. It's really odd when you stop and think about it.
I do love how Rolf was the only one that was able to know something was on, and he was the one, like, he was one that took care with it. But the fact that he sprayed his eyes with lemon juice as a means of seeing them.
I mean, that is crazy, but at the same time, you can use like lemon juice to see invisible ink on stuff.
Wait, what?
So I think that's maybe kind of what the point they were making. Was it like you can see things that aren't normally seen with lemon juice?
I did not know
Or
that.
maybe they just thought it was funny to have a guy squirt lemon into his eye.
Huh. And I also found it funny that if you really stop and think that when Double D was the one
I
infected
think
with
that episode is
it was one of the source of the upset is that it was May that was annoyed because how dare Lee steal her boyfriend, quote unquote.
yeah.
I will say
What's interesting too is the ending where
he may have reciprocated it at least a little bit.
yeah, because in the ending you see that he finds the note in his hat from her, and you can tell he might still like her a little bit even without the Cupid arrow.
Yep. I will find it funny that
I thought that was kind of an interesting way to end the episode.
especially when Ed was giving Eddie mouth to mouth.
Yeah, that was gross.
I know, but
Even like he had just eaten an onion and then breathed the onion, and that's what caused him to pass out. And then he did that, adding insult to injury.
Yeah, but it was Eddie, so I kind of at that time I just relished in his suffering.
Yeah, I don't think he really did that many bad things in the episode, though.
No, just in general. Do you have any memories of any Valentine episodes you remember?
Okay, so some other ones so I can contribute to that. Also, other episodes. There's more than one episode of King of the Hill that are like Valentine's Day, at least adjacent. There's the one with Hank and Peggy reminiscing about their high school years, and then they figure out that Hank lied about something for 20 years about that story, where he was sick, but it was because of mono.
Oh. And that one. If it's what I'm thinking, didn't Peggy punch a hanging piece of meat in rage? Which I find a little ironic that she got angry at him, but she never once told him about the fact that she lost her V card to a gay friend when they were in school. But then again, they weren't dating at the time. Basically, I don't think she has a right to.
Yeah, are you telling me Peggy Hill might be a bit of a hypocrite? Maybe.
Slightly.
That's a crazy thought. That's a crazy thought.
If not a hypocrite, she can be narcissistic.
Yeah. I will say there's a lot of like Bobby and Connie episodes that actually aren't on Valentine's Day. But the weird thing is, like, one of my least favorite episodes is actually a Valentine's Day episode. with Bobby and Connie after they broke up, and then Bobby takes advice from Bill, of all people, and that like makes everything so much worse.
Because why do you take advice from from Bill?
Yeah.
You should have taken advice from Boomhauer.
Well, and they try to do that at the end. They try to give him over to Boomhauer for a little while, try and fix it. But then Bobby realizes, oh, Boomhauer doesn't really know what he's doing either. He just literally tries everything, and then it only works like 20% of the time.
Wasn't it that the whole keep asking a girl out until she actually says yes?
Yeah, if one of them says no, just literally ask the next one you see, just over and over again until you get somebody. Yeah.
Huh. I don't. Well, let's see what else there was.
It makes you wonder, like, how successful he actually is, or if he just like is relentless and just keeps doing it. So it looks like he gets a lot of results, but he actually doesn't get very many at all.
Well, he's gotten more ladies than most, and in the newer season, he's married.
Well, and there's a part in that episode where Bobby asks him like about love, and then Boomhauer just starts laughing. He's like, "Who's talking about love?" Like that. Like he was literally just thinking about dating, not actually like finding a connection or anything.
What do I do before I go? So I can eat. There is one particular episode you were from Family Guy when they did Valentine's episode. One scene I remember in particular that I found funny. Well, I did like the opening, how it looked like it was a movie trailer. One particular scene was when Stewie thought it was smart to get all of Brian's exes into one room so they can figure out what was the issue that caused him to wreck the train, and the way they just dogpiled on his flaws.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm not gonna lie, they're right, Brian.
Yeah. But then he sleeps with all of them at the end too. It's just a joke. And he was like, "What?" That was kind of a crazy ending.
Yeah.
So I thought that like maybe he was going to grow as a character. It's like,
oh heck, he had numerous opportunities to grow even before then. So yeah, at this point he's a cause.
Okay. So do you need to head out, Garrison?
Yeah. It was nice talking to you.
Hey, I appreciate you showing up, man. We'll have to do this again sometime. If I ever have one of these about Yu-Gi-Oh or Star Wars, are you game?
Maybe.
Okay. It'll depend on scheduling, of course, but like that's I'm thinking about some stuff for the future this year, so that might I'll keep you posted on that, and I'll keep the audience posted on anything I'm planning.
All right.
But thanks for showing up. Happy Valentine's Day. Say hi to Ashley for me, and hope you guys have a great night.
Thanks. See ya.
See ya. Well, folks, it's just us now, but gonna take just a brief break, so give me 1 second and I'll be right back, okay? Whenever it decides to load. All right, welcome back, Pretty Mamas. It's Johnny Bravo back here. Gonna take a little bit of a break. And how's everybody doing now? So moving on to the next bit of our agenda here today, we got ourselves the next suggestion I had here. Unconventional things to watch around Valentine's Day. We got, I was thinking mainly like movies and that kind of thing. Uh, first time I ever watched, first time I ever watched this was back in January, I think it was. So, I know the movie Dark Man by Sam Raimi. It's a movie that's he made the early 90s, like 1991, I think it was. But it's a really interesting film, and it has a central love story that with Liam Neeson, Frances McDormand. That's it was kind of weirdly appropriate. I felt when I watched it, like it is kind of a horror movie because of all the disfigurement and everything that Liam Neeson goes through, but it's also kind of sweet and weird. Like it's Sam Raimi, it's going to be, it's going to be something really bizarre and out there and stylistic, but I like it a lot. I think they're releasing it mainly. I think it would have been like the 35th anniversary roughly for it. It's kind of cool to see that on the big screen. For the first time I watched it all the way through, I saw some of it back a long time ago. But Sam Raimi, I did see Send Help a couple weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. Did that come out? No, that would have been 2 weeks ago. With Rachel and O'Brien, that was pretty interesting. That was pretty interesting. Like basically a two-man show with just them being stuck on an island together and really not liking each other. And it's interesting watching it because I could tell that, like, one rewrite, this could have been like a romance movie, but no, it's a Sam thriller horror picture. So it's kind of like if you imagine Castaway mixed with Misery. I wouldn't say it's ever quite as brutal as Misery, but other than the pig scene was pretty brutal. That's when you got the real Raimi-isms coming out there. But overall, I really enjoyed that. Had some fun interplay between the two characters. Dylan O'Brien being this young hotshot asshole boss, and then Rachel McAdams being the actually good employee that keeping the company afloat, but yeah, doesn't get any respect from Dylan O'Brien. And honestly, like she's a weird person in the movie too. So like she's sympathetic, but she's unhinged too. And I like that as the movie goes on, like both characters kind of become more unhinged the more they're around each other. Anyway, that was a super fun movie. I think you should check it out if you're the least bit curious. I think other unconventional movies to watch around this time. I know there is a new Dracula movie out, but I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I probably will see that sometime soon. I mean, the Zombieland movies are something I'd watch this time of year definitely, because there is a central romance to them with Jesse Eisenberg and Emma Stone, so I could see that. That could be another unconventional one to watch. I'm gonna move on, but yeah, we can go ahead and move on to the next thing. Just make sure. Okay, so this one, I might make this a recurring series on the channel if I end up liking this little thought experiment here. There's something I call High School Sweethearts, which is something that I really liked in high school, but as an adult, rewatching it or thinking about it again, kind of don't like it as much, or at least feel a little bit different about it. Okay, so couple of movie series we can talk about here. The Clash of the Titans reboot with Sam Worthington, Liam Neeson, and Ray Fiennes and all of them. I think those movies are really well cast, and I did really like them in high school. That's when I was first really getting into mythology, was around that time. So I like that. I have never watched all of the original Clash of the Titans. I really need to sometime. But I remember really liking those when I first saw them, and then watching them a few years ago. They've aged definitely. Like I don't hold them in such a high regard as they used to, but I'm not saying that they're not worth watching or that there's nothing good in there. I still think the casting is really good on it. Just the the story is not anything that special about it. Honestly, just seeing Ray Fiennes play Hades right after technically the first one was during his time playing Voldemort, to just kind of delivery he did for those two characters, this raspy whisper, and just like you go like really, really low and then really intense and like back and forth. It's kind of funny to look at him back when he was during that time period in his career, and now with like Bone Temple and all these other things he's done since then. I've always liked him as an actor. I just think that that's kind of an interesting era for him as an actor. Sam Worthington, it was a weird thing around when I was in high school. Sam Worthington was in like so many movies, and then Avatar obviously being the biggest one that he's in at the time, and also the explanation why he's not in that many films anymore. But it was so weird that he was in Avatar, the first one, all about a human becoming a Na'vi and like no longer being human by the end of the movie. He kind of had a thing period. He went from human to alien in that one. In Terminator Salvation, he went from a convict on death row, and he woke up, and spoilers, he realizes he's a Terminator now. So he went from like human to machine, and then Perseus in the Titans films that he did at that time, where he thinks that he's human, but he figures out that he's a half god too, because Zeus is his dad. I don't know what that was. Maybe it was just some kind of weird coincidence, but like those are the ones I can think of right now. But Sam was in so many roles where he was just that guy that turns into something else, or like is revealed that there's a lot more to him than you think. I don't know what that was, that run that he had when I was in high school, but anyway, I just want to mention that while I'm talking about Clash of the Titans, because now Avatar is a much bigger thing than it used to be. It used to just be the one movie when I was in high school, and I didn't love it when I watched it, but I also didn't watch it in theaters, so that was the main reason why, probably. Sequels I do like a bit better, so I think that they do kind of show Sam Worthington gets to do a little bit more with the sequels as an actor, so I do appreciate. I've kind of grown to appreciate him more because of those two films. But anyway, Quiet of the Titans, another ones that I had. Technically, they went past when I was in high school, but they started. 2 out of the 3 were when I was in high school. That's the Hangover trilogy, and that's a series that is very divisive. I mean, the sequels were divisive when they came out, but by looking at them now, like I think they've become more divisive over the years. First one I still like a lot. I still think it's a great comedy, and it still holds up. I think a few years ago I did a marathon of all 3 of them in one day just to see how they all held up and everything. Spoiler alert: you probably shouldn't do that because by the 3rd one, I was like, oh my god, I just want this to be over. Not because I don't like them, like all 3 of them for certain reasons, but like it was like oversaturation. Like 6 hours of this in one day was too much. So like if I rewatch them, I'm gonna do it like one a day, where it's not quite so much. But it's kind of interesting when you look at 2 and 3, because 2 is like carbon copy sequel, where it's like they do nearly the same plot line as the first one, but instead of Vegas, it's in Bangkok, and it's has stuff in it I like, but I gotta knock it for not being original at all. So that'd be my main critique of it. That and the fact that maybe it's a negative, maybe it's kind of makes it more distinct than the first one, or at least makes it distinct from the first one, as the like tone and lighting is very grungy and gross. Like the first one's pretty tame by comparison to the second one, because they go like ratchet up how dark and twisted it is. But not everybody's gonna like that, obviously. I really liked it back then because I was an edgy teenager. Of course, I liked that kind of stuff where it got edgier like as it went along. Looking back on it now, I think it's okay. It might be my least favorite of the 3. Probably would be if I was ranking them. Then we get to the 3rd one, which I'm still going to talk about, even though it didn't technically come out until I was in college. But this one is the really weird one because it's like not a Hangover movie technically. Like it has all the characters back basically. It's like a story progression for them. It's a completely different story and narrative than anything from the first 2. So that's kind of like alienate a lot of the audience that really likes the first 2's plot line. Like it may be too different than the other 2. But I think I respect like 2 different more than 2 similar, because at least they're not just carbon copying it again for a 3rd one. So when you get to the end credit scene, then it's kind of hints that something similar happened again. But even simple comedy characters, you give them a little bit of a dimension and a little bit of character growth throughout. If you're gonna do 3 movies with these characters, seeing a little bit of progression, I think is kind of cool for doing that. If you're not gonna, like, at least, man, if they carbon copied for the 3rd movie, I would have hated it, I think. Because I'll be like, okay, I get it. Can we move on? Like, kind of seen this already. But that 3rd one's really interesting because it's like says that like mystery, trying to figure out what happened, and trying to find their missing member of the group. And this one's like a gangster movie where one of their guys just happens to be taken hostage, so they have to do the heist. So it's it is interesting on its own right. Maybe probably the least funny though, because it does kind of take itself seriously. I don't know. It's a mixed bag, definitely. But yeah, that's at least two I can think of right now for the Sweethearts. Like, do they hold up okay? Kind of, but I have more thoughts on them than these two. Okay, so on to the last thing of the night, and oh boy, I don't know how this is gonna go, but we'll just try it out and see how it works. We're gonna try to do Johnny Plays the Hits, and just do at least Johnny trying to sing a couple of songs, see how it turns out. If it doesn't turn out well, oh well. Uh, but we'll say thanks for getting this far if you're on the playback and watching. Appreciate your viewership and everything. Happy B-Day from Johnny, and happy B-Day to Johnny. So appreciate you guys being here. Let's see, what shall we start with? With it being Johnny Bravo, I'm kind of tempted to go 90s. So I think I'll start with an Oasis song. See how that works for us. If it doesn't, oh well. I'm just trying out some stuff anyway. And obviously I can't I can't play the music for you, sorry. So if you want to do this as a karaoke thing, then just mostly play the song like now. Gonna do Wonderwall. Attempt to do Wonderwall. I do kind of remember this song, but I was just gonna get this in case I need it. All right, let's get into it. Today is gonna be the day that they're gonna throw it back to you. By now, you should have somehow realized what you want to do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. And baby, the word is on the street that the fire in your heart is out. I'm sure you've heard it all before, but you never really had a doubt. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. And all the roads we have to walk are winding, and all the lights that lead us there are blinding. There are many things that I would like to say to you, but I don't know how. Because maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. And after all, you're my Wonderwall. Okay, enough torture. Man, I can't hardly sing in a normal voice. Don't know why I could think I could do that, but it was worth a shot. Oh, so thanks everybody for being here, and thanks for listening this far. At least some of the stuff that I tried to do worked, so we'll count tonight as a win. Have a happy Saturday night. Hope you all have fun out there. Be safe. Tell your sweetie I said hello. This is Johnny Bravo signing off.